It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendi. You're welcome to the month of May. We're going to start off the show as usual, looking back at the things that caught our attention during the week, at the headlines. And of course, there's going to be a lot of talk about Mr. President and the fact that he wasn't available again to attend the Federal Executive Council meeting. I think it was 3 or 4 times in a row in the month of April where he was absent. And we've been told that he's going to keep resting until he's fit enough, you know, to get back to the business of the day. But of course, something happened yesterday that excited a lot of Nigerians, something a lot of us have been waiting for and hoping would happen. And it was the release of 82 Chibok girls. And it was definitely something to celebrate. A lot of people didn't see it coming, especially that number. In the past, we've seen 3 released, 5, 10, but this was an amazing number. As you can see on the screens there, those are some of the girls who were released yesterday, and it's just been amazing. It's because most people thought this was never going to happen. It's been, 3 years now, and we're getting some good news. I mean, not all of them are out yet, but this is a sign of even greater things to come. But I have here with me Wale Oshunde, a lawyer who will help me to dissect all of this. Thank you very much for being here, Wale.
Thank you so much.
I mean, yesterday I think we don't get a lot of this good news sometimes in Nigeria. It looks like every day there's something was surpassing what's happened before, but this was definitely something to cheer, wasn't it?
Honestly speaking, I mean, I was extremely excited, just as a lot of people, were yesterday to actually hear about this news. I think somebody actually sent out a message on one of the groups on WhatsApp, and then I read it. I was going to call him to actually find out if that was actually true, but I think we should thank God all the same. 82 is a great number. If you actually follow the speed at which the sect have been releasing these girls, you have maybe 1, 2, 3, 20, blah, blah, blah. Now 82. I mean, that's a great, a big deal for anybody in this country, especially when you realize the fact that these are wonderful sisters of ours who have spent over 1,010 days in detention or in captivity. And so I think for me, we should thank God Almighty, and then we should also thank the federal government for actually working very hard to ensure that they are released. And then we should encourage government and keep faith with them, because I remember that last year we're in this same studio, and then we said we should continue to keep faith with government, we should continue to pray along with them, and then we should continue to hope that all of them will be brought back alive. And so this is a good sign that we have that hope that would recover many more of these girls. And then now the government should actually work on working on their psychology, working on their minds, and then reintegrating them into the society. And then most importantly, I think government should ensure that they have fantastic, good education. They have tasted the horrible part of life. And so now I think government must do everything to ensure that they get the best of life as well. Yeah.
Before we get into how this reintegration should work, because it's a very critical part of the process for these girls now. The sources do say that this release came about as after negotiations between government and the Islamic terrorist group Boko Haram. And there's people who have always wondered, why are we negotiating with terrorists? I mean, for things like this, it might seem, if we're going to get results like this, it might seem like a fair thing to do. But who are we negotiating with? What does this say about the fight against terrorism? I mean, we still heard during the week about 7 people killed in Borno State by suicide attack. So Boko Haram is still doing these things, and we're negotiating with people. So if we're negotiating with these people, how is it that we can't put an end to terrorism in that part of Nigeria?
Yes. Firstly, I think I should talk about the fact that the government is actually negotiating with them. You see, the honest truth is this: if we want to actually approach it from a strictly military sense, or of retrieving these girls now, you would find out that a lot of them would actually be dead. That's the honest truth. Because if you want to forcefully take over these girls and then you attack the base of the sect, and then you find out that there will be exchange, gun battles and what have you. So, and that could actually hit the wrong target if you are not careful. But with dialogue, the honest truth is, yes, some other things would have been exchanged for their release. But for me, I don't think I really do care much about maybe money that would have been given to them. We do not know the facts, but I really do not care. We're talking about human lives, the lives of our sisters, my sisters, your sisters, and all that. And that, for me, is very important. And then I really want to believe that the government knows what they are doing, and then that would definitely not continue if we are to actually look at curbing the excesses of the sect, because they also have to go after them to ensure that this dastardly act of the sect is brought to an end immediately. That's the honest truth. But for us to retrieve these girls, for us to bring them back alive, we need another tactical approach, which I think the government is actually dealing with or sorting out at the moment. And for me, I think I give it to the government of the day. Whatever form they have actually taken to ensure the release of these girls, I think they have done a fantastic job. We should encourage them actually to bring back some more girls that are still, hanging around, or that are still out there in the forest. So, but going forward, I think we do not need to praise the sect for releasing these girls, but instead they are terrorists, and I want to encourage the government to go after them, but tactically. That's the honest truth. Because
as it is now, we know who they obviously government knows that they're negotiating with somebody. They know who they're negotiating with, and those are the people we should be going after.
Yes, but that would of course be after the phases of series of negotiations. That's the honest truth. We just need to be tactical about how to bring back these girls and other people alive. But going forward, and ultimately, I think the government needs to go after the sect itself, which is exactly what I think the government has been doing. If you calculate the state of activities of the Boko Haram sect right now, you would notice that their activities have gone down drastically. They have not been blowing up places the way they used to. Which is actually encouraging, and which is something we must praise the government of the day for. But they really need to do more, in arming the military personnel that we have, in investigating more, and of course gathering more intelligence, so that they can actually launch a more powerful attack against the sect, and of course bring their nefarious acts to an end.
Speaking of the girls now, how do we start to reintegrate them and get them back, to regular life, even if I can use those words, because in a sane society, this would take a process where, you counsel them, you make sure that their state of mind is good enough, even for all of this media blitz that's happening around them now. For a lot of people, it might not be a good idea because it's a little too much happening immediately. They've just come out, So what should we be looking at? When should schooling start? What should government be doing? Is government alone responsible for integrating them? Is civil society going to have to play a part? What should be happening at this point going forward?
Okay, thank you very much. I think, firstly, the government needs to work in tandem with the various civil society organizations that we have in the country and even beyond the shores of our land. Secondly, we have the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group. They also need to work with government to ensure that we have the best of psychological services that can actually be rendered or that can be made available to these girls.